Hello, Cosmic Beings. This is Virgo Queen, your transformation coach using the tools of astrology, tarot, sound healing, and ritual. And I am excited to introduce to you to one of my clients who has bravely joined me for a Saturn return consultation. Hello, Tanya.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm actually great, thank you.
Oh, good. Before we jump into your consultation, I just wanted to kind of go through what Saturn return means. When does it happen? The timing of it really depends sometimes on where you were born and the certain aspects of your chart. For you, instantly had an amazing new year transition into your Saturn return.
Yeah.
You really hit the year with not only with a full moon, super moon in Cancer, which
exactly.
is she's a Cancer rising, goodness gracious, and then she hit her Saturn return.
Exactly that day, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or the day before. Well, around there.
It was on the 31st, I
Yeah.
remember.
True.
And we were in
Yeah.
Ireland.
Exactly.
Amazing place to be. So, Saturn return really shows up between the ages of 20 and 30. Like I said, sometimes it shows up earlier for some people, but this depends on the specific chart. For her, it was December 31st. Saturn return is a time in our life when we really transition out of our old ways, old habits, old dreams, and really get committed to what our soul is here to do. That's why a lot of people during Saturn returns, sometimes they get married or sometimes they get divorced. They could be doing one business for their entire life and then wake up all of a sudden and be like, wow, this is no longer what I want to do anymore. So it's this huge transition. It's when your soul comes in and says, yes, you are in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, or no, and you need to drastically change, which happened to me, but I have Saturn in Scorpio and a completely different story. So lucky for you, Tanya, with a Saturn in Capricorn. So Saturn is the planet of the task maker, right? He's kind of like the father in the sky, right? Capricorn is the energy of Saturn. So Saturn rules Capricorn, and this means that it's kind of like the father in our chart. And so he comes in and he disciplines you, gives you lessons. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes, well, they feel like soul-wrenching chores. So it depends on what kind of father that you have.
Yeah.
And lucky for you, you have a very grounded, very loyal, very practical father. So again, her Saturn is in Capricorn, which isn't this powerful because Saturn collectively has moved into Capricorn. So you're really learning about power.
Yeah.
Right? So on a collective, we're learning a lot about what we give our power to and, how we deal with our own power struggles. But when I look into her personal chart, her Saturn return is hitting on the 6th house.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what that means.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
if I want you to chime in if that just sounds like exactly what you've been going through.
Yeah.
So Saturn in Capricorn in the 6th house is showing that you are having to have a bigger discipline, that you have to have routines in your life, but also health issues are coming up. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo, and it's also ruled in our everyday lives, right? So our routines are changing, all these things, and sometimes as creatives we get really chaotic and we want to just go in all these different directions. And the 6th house is really asking you to create a routine, to have discipline. And the fact that Capricorn is this discipliner really wants you to have ownership of that.
Yeah.
And also when it really looks to our consciousness of health, right? What is the vehicle in which we're doing our daily tasks? Is our vehicle happy, healthy, and alive?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just curious on what kind of things you feel or what you've seen since your Saturn has moved into your return?
What happened was like I realized that my routine wasn't like I had to fix my routine, my day-to-day routine. Since I'm a freelancer, I have to be more disciplined, and therefore I was like having repercussion on my work because, for example, I was wasn't really waking up at a certain time, and so that was also very connected to my health, because I realized that my health was actually affecting my routine and my discipline. So I had a health problem that recently that came up, and thank God everything went fine and so on. But and since then, since I discovered it, since I can cure it and heal it, my routine was back again on track, and I could be energetic. I can wake up at a certain time. I can do everything that I needed to do. And before I was dragging myself to do things or to be on time, and so I feel like it was very connected also to my work. So and definitely feels like I have to be. You have another awareness on your body. It feels also like before maybe I didn't think it was something to do with health. I thought maybe I'm just a little bit lazy. I'm not very disciplined, you know. Oops. But then I realized actually no, there was a problem that was causing that, and it's like very connected.
So I just have to say, since we have been having our continuing sessions, and I've been doing Saturn return consulting with you, I've definitely noticed, and we've discussed this, the fact that you've now all of a sudden have had this huge, you love going and working out. This was something in your life that was this huge resistance for a really long time.
Exactly.
And the fact that you've actually, so Saturn has allowed you to actually be in the body. It's giving you the power, it's giving you the discipline to make that. And it's like you look forward to going to the gym, which
before I was so I mean of course I love to ride my bicycle and everything, not the laziest, but the gym was always like a place that I would try to avoid. But now I'm very excited, like I need to exercise my body. I really want me to exercise, like release so much energy, and it makes me very happy, very grounded, and definitely more action, like focus, and
And something also that has occurred is that you've been in business. You've had this dream your whole life. This is definitely something who you are. How you actually bring it to form, you've been exploring for the past 10-something years. And now you have the Saturn return. And we had a pre-session where she was really freaked out about, like, oh my god, during my Saturn turn, does that mean I'm gonna have to be like work with my dad and sell wine? Like, what do I have to do? I am a designer. This is what my life's passion is. But what she's now done with that is she's moved away from working with someone that really doesn't fit your model, your design, your vision, and you've now have the power to take on your own business, to find your own studio, to find the things that is in alignment with your vision. Now, I just want to say that you have a very healthy Saturn return. Obviously, you are.
Thank God. Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, because
I just want to say, like, everyone has a different Saturn return experience, and a lot of people put a lot of scary issues out there, scary ideas of what's going to happen. But I wanted to interview Tanya for everyone to really show you how empowering it really can be. I can share my own Saturn return story another time, because it was the complete opposite.
it was
But here I am today, healthy, stronger, and more vibrant because of it. And that's what ultimately I want to really advise with people. That's why we really want to look at the Saturn and how can we take his higher octave? How can we really step into our responsibility for our Saturn? Saturn teaches about our responsibility, and I feel like this is a huge thing with who we are as humans on this earth right now, having to be more responsible for what we are actually doing and causing. So this is kind of just a little preview of what a Saturn return consultation would be like with me, and the questions that we can go over, and just really looking at how is it affecting your life, your businesses, your relationships, and how can we really empower it and use the tools. And Tanya, do you have anything to say to anyone that is going through their Saturn return right now?
It certainly is the beginning of adulthood, so welcome. But all the lessons that you will face during this time, it's just for the better somehow, even though sometimes they're very tough. But I always see that it's like a way to like build up like a little bit more strength, a little bit more resistance to problems, or it's also a way to align yourself for where do you really have to go and where do you really have to start like working, and where do you have to put your focus on, let's say, because sometimes we have so many ideas, or we have I don't know, we have a we thought that that's our path, and actually it wasn't. And during Saturn return, it's the beginning of like questioning whether that path was the right decision for you or not. So I think I would just like advise everybody to accept changes and chaos with an open heart, and just trust that whatever meant to be would be, let's say.
Yeah. And I have to say, during my Saturn return, you know, these are when all the new tools came to me, where I adapted astrology and tarot and sound healing and ritual into my life, and then that's how I claimed my power. I had to discover those. I had to learn about those. And for me, it was really about letting go of the old life, the old dream, and I had to create a whole new dream. That was me. That's Scorpio. Capricorn is really about empowering what you already have planted in your soul. Yeah. So I just want to thank everyone, and obviously Tanya, my beautiful client, for joining me and for sharing your story with everyone. I feel that sharing our stories are part of helping others transform. Until next time, blessed, blessed, blessed be.